Good Sunday everyone, and welcome back to Cycling World. We start today with a race that was far more than just another win, because what happened in Hoogerheide added a new chapter to cyclocross history and offered a clear insight into where Mathieu van der Poel stands right now. He didn't simply win, he imposed his rhythm, his control and his vision of racing, confirming that his preparation is moving in a very deliberate direction. This victory arrives at a key moment of the season, with van der Poel carefully shaping his form to peak at the most important points of his calendar, especially after the quiet but unmistakable message he sent a few weeks ago toward Tadej Pogačar, a signal that his ambitions remain as high as ever. With this performance, van der Poel claimed his 51st World Cup victory, surpassing a record that had defined an era previously held by Sven Nys. This was not a win built on drama or desperation, but on complete control from within the race. Hoogerheide, a circuit known for exposing weaknesses and rewarding true readiness, once again served as the perfect measuring stick, and van der Poel passed the test without hesitation. The early laps hinted at restraint, but beneath the surface the race was already waiting to break. When Tibor del Grosso launched his move, it merely triggered the inevitable response. Van der Poel closed the gap effortlessly and almost immediately turned a competitive race into a familiar scenario. Within a single lap, he was alone at the front, while the rest of the field shifted focus from victory to damage limitation. His advantage grew steadily and calmly. The technical sections were handled with precision, the barriers cleared with ease, and the gap expanded without visible strain. 40 seconds became 50, then more than a minute, all while van der Poel maintained a smooth, economical style that suggested complete confidence in his condition. Behind him, a different race unfolded. Riders like Thibaut Nys, Toon Aerts, Joris Nieuwenhuis, Niels van der Putte and a resilient Felipe Orts fought to define the podium battle, but none could alter the outcome at the front. The message was unmistakable. Van der Poel was not closing a season, he was fine-tuning himself for what comes next. If you enjoy this kind of in-depth storytelling and analysis, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. With the race firmly decided at the front, the real tension shifted to what was happening behind, where Hoogerheide continued to demand precision, patience and smart decision-making. Mathieu van der Poel's solo ride set a relentless benchmark, and while no one could respond to his pace, the battle for the remaining podium places became increasingly complex. Each lap added fatigue, and every small mistake threatened to end any realistic chance of a top result. The chasing group never fully stabilised. It expanded and contracted repeatedly, shaped by short accelerations, cautious recoveries and the constant awareness that the circuit punished unnecessary risks. Thibaut Nys tried to inject rhythm whenever the terrain allowed, using his power to test the legs of those around him. Toon Aerts, by contrast, relied on consistency and experience, maintaining a steady tempo and trusting that others would crack before he did. Joris Nieuwenhuis appeared in the front positions at key moments, measuring his efforts carefully, while Niels van der Putte stayed quietly attentive, always well-positioned, but rarely overcommitting. The dynamics were clear. No one wanted to lead for too long, and no one wanted to be the first to make a decisive move that could fail. Hoogerheide's technical sections forced clean execution, and any hesitation over the barriers or through the turns cost valuable seconds that were difficult to recover. As van der Poel's advantage continued to grow, the psychological pressure increased for the riders behind. The reality that the win was unattainable reshaped priorities, turning the race into a battle of survival and calculation. Each rider had to reassess his limits, choosing when to respond and when to let others take responsibility. Felipe Orts remained solid within this context, matching the rhythm of the group and refusing to fade despite the repeated surges. His presence highlighted the depth and unpredictability of the chase, where form, confidence and timing all played a role. By the middle phase of the race, the tone had changed. Attacks became more selective, the group slightly thinner, and the margin for error almost non-existent. Hoogerheide was beginning to separate those who could still push from those who were simply trying to hold on, setting the stage for a decisive final act. As the race moved deeper into its decisive phase, Mathieu van der Poel's performance took on a meaning that extended far beyond the result itself. This was not simply another World Cup victory added to an already impressive list. With his 51st win, van der Poel rewrote the record books, moving past the long-standing benchmark set by Sven Nys and establishing himself as the most successful rider in the history of the competition. The significance of that number lies not only in its magnitude, but in the manner in which it was achieved. Van der Poel did not chase this record through desperation or overexertion. Instead, he arrived at it with a level of composure that reflects his current stage as an athlete. The race was won with a single, decisive acceleration, followed by a demonstration of race management that few riders in any discipline can match. Every line choice, every dismount, every remount seemed calculated to conserve energy while maintaining absolute control. What makes this victory particularly meaningful is its timing. Hoogerheide traditionally serves as a key reference point in the season, a race that reveals who has built a reliable foundation and who is still searching for form. By dominating here, Van der Poel delivered a powerful statement just before shifting his focus fully toward his own calendar of major objectives. Rather than peaking late or relying on accumulated race rhythm, he showed that his baseline level is already exceptionally high. This performance also reinforces the idea that Van der Poel is racing with a broader vision in mind. He is not simply collecting wins, he is shaping a legacy. His approach suggests a rider who understands the importance of selecting moments, protecting freshness, and arriving at key events with both physical and mental clarity. Hoogerheide, in this sense, functioned as a control test rather than a maximal effort. The gap he built, stretching beyond a minute, was less a show of raw power and more an expression of efficiency and confidence. Behind him, the race continued with intensity, but at the front there was an unmistakable calm. Van der Poel's solo ride felt inevitable, almost routine, yet historically significant at the same time. In rewriting the World Cup record, Van der Poel did more than surpass a number. He closed one chapter of cyclocross history and opened another, setting a new reference point for what sustained excellence in this discipline looks like. This victory in Hoogerheide cannot be separated from the way Mathieu van der Poel is approaching the new season as a whole. Everything about his racing suggests intention and discipline, from his choice of events to the way he controls his efforts on the bike. He is no longer racing simply to accumulate results, but to arrive at specific moments in peak condition. Hoogerheide was not an endpoint, but a confirmation that his preparation is unfolding exactly as planned. That perspective also explains the subtle message he sent earlier in the winter toward Tadej Pogačar. It was not a public challenge or a direct confrontation, but a reminder that Van der Poel's ambitions extend well beyond a single discipline. By delivering such a commanding performance at this stage of the season, he reinforced the idea that his level is already established and that he will be ready when his main objectives begin. The seriousness with which he treats this phase of the year is evident in the way he manages races. There is patience in his decision-making, restraint in his efforts, and clarity in his execution. The explosive accelerations that defined his earlier career are still there, but they are now deployed with greater selectivity. This evolution points to an athlete who understands how to win not just races, but seasons. Van der Poel's broader ambition is to leave a lasting mark on cycling as a whole. Cyclocross remains a central pillar of his identity, but his vision clearly extends further. He aims to be remembered as a rider capable of shaping multiple eras across different terrains and formats. Each performance like Hoogerheide strengthens that narrative, reinforcing his reputation as one of the defining riders of his generation. As the new season unfolds, this victory serves as both a reference and a warning. It shows that Van der Poel is entering the next phase of his calendar with confidence, composure, and a clear sense of purpose. He is not simply defending a reputation. He is actively building a legacy that continues to grow with every carefully chosen appearance. What Hoogerheide ultimately revealed was not just the outcome of a single race, but the broader direction of Mathieu van der Poel's season and career. By breaking a long-standing World Cup record and doing so with such composure, he confirmed that this phase of his career is defined by clarity and purpose. The dominance we saw was not impulsive or emotional, it was calculated, controlled, and rooted in long-term planning. This victory closes an important chapter in his cyclocross journey while simultaneously opening another. Records are often viewed as final destinations, but for Van der Poel, they appear to function as platforms. Surpassing a historic benchmark did not bring a sense of closure, but rather reinforced his confidence and sharpened his focus for what lies ahead. Looking forward, the implications are significant. His physical condition, technical sharpness, and mental calm all point toward a rider ready to transition smoothly into the next block of his calendar. Hoogerheide was a reminder that when Van der Poel commits to a plan, he commits fully. Every appearance is intentional, every effort measured, and every objective aligned with a larger vision. Beyond cyclocross, this performance strengthens his standing as one of the most influential riders of his generation. Few athletes manage to balance dominance with restraint or ambition with patience. Van der Poel continues to do both, shaping his legacy step by step rather than chasing moments in isolation. In the end, Hoogerheide was more than a race won alone at the front. It was a confirmation of direction, a signal of readiness, and a clear indication that Mathieu van der Poel is entering the next phase of his season with confidence, control, and a deep understanding of his place in cycling history.